Hello, welcome, thank you for watching. This is about a topic that is so dear to my heart, which is addiction. It has been the greatest hurdle to overcome in my life, and it's also just given me such a portal in to understand who I really am, what my gifts are, and what I'm doing here on earth, what my offering is. So, this is about creating a more nuanced understanding of addiction in our society. And going from this idea of the stigmatization of saying that addiction is substance use disorder and that's all that it is. When really what I want to offer the world is this idea that addiction is something inside of each of us. It's a mechanism that we will use something external to alleviate a pain that is internal. And every single person I know, my friends, myself, my family, everyone is doing this in one way or another. And it's okay. And when we embrace that that is part of the human condition, the human experience, this is a very empowering thing because it means you don't have to be in dysfunctional, painful addiction to start to live the life you want to live. Addiction is the way that we get out of being our best selves. It's the way we get out of being present and connected in our relationships. And we do it through all these different forms of escapism: drinking, phone use, workaholism, porn, whatever it is, food. The list is endless. Any behavior where afterwards you say, I feel worse now than when I did before, but I enjoyed the experience, has the potential to be addiction. Has the potential to be an external factor outside of you that is addressing an internal pain. And so I just want to share a piece of my story and some lessons from that I hope can offer something to you all watching this. And thank you for taking the time. So this is what addiction is. Addiction is this spectrum of relating to externals to address internals. And the only way to get out of this cycle, to avoid the craving, to stop living from one external to another, is to start to learn how to get in touch with the self. When this painful memory comes up that drives me to want to escape, to slow it down and say, what happened there? To get support and talk to somebody about it. To start to heal these voices in our head that drive us crazy, because those voices are what we're escaping from. And ironically, instead of moving away from them, which is the action of addiction, moving away from pain, the healing comes in supported movement towards the pain. To start to heal the shame, the limiting beliefs, the unhealthy patterns, and the damage and wounding that we all carry from our lived circumstances. And this is a big work, and a beautiful one, and an ongoing one. And this is soul reclamation, that I am going to claim myself and say, yes, I accept everything that is inside of me. I'm not going to try and run away from it, push it away, or soothe it. As often as I can, I'm going to lean in and experience myself. Here's an example. When I was 18, I got into a fight that I started. I was driving my car, and I had just done some Ambien, or some Adderall. And that's how f***ed up it was. I couldn't even keep track of what drug I was abusing at the time. I was 18, fresh out of high school, and I was really, really hurt about the ending of my relationship, and I was just a mess. And I saw this guy that I knew had been dating my ex-girlfriend, and I was high on a stimulant, so I was feeling so much aggression and power and rage and the need to act and do something. So I jumped out of my car, and I heard him. I punched him in the face, and 4 people called the cops. It was a scary and dangerous situation that I created. And there's shame there, right? At least there has been. And about 10 years later, I drove by that spot, and I noticed my foot go to the gas pedal to get the heck out of there. And I felt my blood pressure increase, and I felt this well of shame and self-judgment. And instead of just moving faster, moving past the unconscious, and probably going to some source of comfort, I made the choice to track that moment and slow it down. And I said to myself, what's happening right now? right? And it was unconscious, but I made it conscious. Oh, this is the spot I started that fight and hurt somebody. What's the feeling that's present? Shame, a belief that I'm not any good, a belief that I'm not safe. Ouch, that hurts. That's what I'm running from. Literally, in this case, with the gas pedal. But figuratively, right, running from it, trying to escape it. It could have been drugs or alcohol. I was sober at this point. And so I slowed it down, and I felt that, and I counseled and coached my way through it. I said, okay, you are not that. That was in the past. That was a painful thing. That was the best tools I had at the time, and that's not what I would do today. That is not who I am. I am a courageous, loving, caring, compassionate, and safe man today. And so I just held myself. And then the next day, I drove by that spot again, and I had the exact same reaction, except this time, I had programmed myself to slow it down too, so I also knew what was happening. I felt myself go into that fight or flight, get the heck out of there, don't want to be associated with this feeling, with this shame, and I just ran the process again. Took about half as much time. And then I drove by there again. Same thing, but again, less energy. And now, it's just a memory. It's a memory that I feel an ambivalence and an honor for, that it taught me how to get to where I am today. So this is the alternative. This is moving towards the pain instead of away from it. And that's fundamentally what addiction needs. It needs us to move towards the pain and to deal with the problem itself, not use something external to alleviate that pain. I hope that helps. I hope this is part of the healing journey. I know my healing journey never hits any endpoint, but learning to love every memory, every part, every piece of our story is what creates inner peace. It's what creates the quiet mind that makes meditation easy and possible. And it was what allows us to live a life of choice rather than a life of impulse and reaction. Thank you so much for watching. This is 8 years of sobriety for me, so this topic means a lot to me. I'm going to be putting out more content about mental health and well-being and self-care, and most importantly, connection with ourselves and others. So keep an eye out for that. Thanks so much.